करारविन्देन पदारविन्दम् मुखारविन्दे विनिवेशयन्तम् वटस्य पत्रस्य पुटे शयानम् बालं मुकुन्दं मनसा स्मरा। गोविंद बोलो हरि गोपाल बोलो, राधा रमण हरि गोविंद बोलो, राधा रमण हरि गोविंद बोलो, गोविंद बोलो हरि गोपाल बोलो, राधा रमण हरि गोविंद बोलो, राधा रमण हरि गोविंद बोलो, राधारमण हरे गोविंद बोलो। राधारमण हरे गोविंद बोलो। जय जय कृष्ण 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 राधे कृष्ण 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 कृष्ण। जय जय कृष्ण 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 राधे कृष्ण 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 कृष्ण। जय जय कृष्ण 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 राधे कृष्ण 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 कृष्ण। जय जय कृष्ण 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 राधे कृष्ण 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 कृष्ण।
This live satsang is presented by Radha Krishna Foundation in light of the ongoing lockdown and in support of Sri Lakshmi Mandir of West Palm Beach, Florida. Radha Krishna Dham of number 73 Village, Guyana. Number 7271 Sanatan Mandir of number 72 Village, Guyana. And Shiva Mandir Ashram of Leguan Island, Guyana.
वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। जावो गुरु चरण कमल बलिहार। 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 जिन चरणन की शरण गहत मन। जिन चरणन की शरण गहत मन। पावत युगल बिहार। जाओ गुरु पावत युगल बिहार। पावत युगल बिहार। जाओ गुरु जाओ गुरु जाओ गुरु चरण कमल बलिहार। जाओ गुरु चरण कमल बलिहार। जाओ गुरु चरण चरण कमल बलिहार। सद्गुरु महाराज की जय। Devotees of Bhagavan, again this morning it is a privilege for me to extend to all of you a very special welcome to our online satsang. We've been doing this for a little while now and hoping that the pandemic will subside and get less effective negatively in people. Unfortunately, it's still around, and so we continue our satsang. But as some of you may have observed in our opening, that our satsang now is done in support of a few more mandirs, especially mandirs in Guyana. Our satsang still comes to you under the auspices of Lakshmi Mandir, or in support of Lakshmi Mandir of West Palm Beach, but also of the Shiv Mandir Ashram of Legwan, the tiny island in Guyana, of the number 7271 Sanatan Mandir, which is under quarantine, and Radha Krishna Dham of number 73 village. There has always been a few or a handful of people from these mandirs who've been joining our satsang every morning, so we're grateful for that. And we're also happy to include you in our satsang. As you know, Radha Krishna Foundation is an independent organization, and so we're bringing this satsang to anyone who wants to be a part of it. And so to bring in these mandirs this morning is a blessing for us, and I hope that at some point in time, if not this morning, that the devotees of these mandirs will have the opportunity to join in satsang. Usually when we start our Sunday morning satsang, we start with prayers to Ganesh Bhagavan, like we we described him last week, is the remover of obstacles and difficulties, the remover of impediments, and that which is immovable by the intellect or by the physical power of human beings can be removed easily by Bhagavan Ganesh and make a devotee successful in all that he endeavors, in all that he embarks upon, whether spiritual or material, in the future. We give prayers to Bhagavan Ganesha. Jai Ganesh, Jai Ganesh, Jai Ganesh Deva, Mata Jaki Parvati, Pita Mahadeva. Jai Ganesh, Jai Ganesh, Jai Ganesh, Jai Ganesh, Jai Ganesh Deva, Mata Jaki Parvati, Pita Mahadeva. Jai Ganesh, Jai Ganesh, Jai Ganesh Deva, Mata Jaki Parvati, Pita Mahadeva. लधुवन को भोग लगे संत करे सेवा, लधुवन को भोग लगे संत करे सेवा, लधुवन को भोग लगे, लधुवन को भोग लगे, लधुवन को भोग लगे, लधुवन को भोग लगे, लधुवन को भोग लगे संत करे सेवा। जय गणेश, जय गणेश, जय गणेश देवा। जय गणेश, जय गणेश, जय गणेश देवा। माता जाकी पार्वती, पिता महादेवा। विघ्नेश्वराय वरदाय सुरप्रियाय, लंबोदराय सकलाय जगदिताय, नागाननाद स्तुत्यज्ञ विभूषिताय, गौरीसुताय गणनाथ नमो नमस्ते। सर्वमंगलमांगल्ये शिवे सर्वार्थ साधिके, शरण्ये त्र्यंबके गौरी नारायणी नमोस्तुते। लधुवन को भोग लगे संत करे सेवा, लधुवन को भोग लगे संत करे सेवा, लधुवन को भोग लगे संत करे सेवा। जय गणेश, जय गणेश, जय गणेश देवा। जय गणेश, जय गणेश, जय गणेश देवा। माता जाकी पार्वती, पिता महादेवा। जय गणेश, जय गणेश, जय गणेश देवा। माता जाकी पार्वती, पिता महादेवा। माता जाकी पार्वती, पिता महादेवा। माता जाकी पार्वती, पिता महादेवा। गणपति भगवान की जय। Usually again on Sunday mornings, we seek the blessings of Mahalakshmi, as we all know. We said last week that Laksha means goal. We're trying to attain a goal of internal and external light, constant, unending. brightness in our lives, in anything and everything that we do. Deepa Jyotir Namostate. And so we bow to that divine light of Mahalakshmi as we ask her, Lakshmi Karotu Kalyanam, to shower her blessings upon us all so that we can enjoy that divine light of hers. He Mahalakshmi Ma, 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 Ai Sharan Tere रख लाज मेरे, आय शरण तेरे रख लाज मेरे, तू आज दिखा दे महिमा। हे महालक्ष्मी माँ, हे महालक्ष्मी प्रदायिनी मंत्रमूर्ति सदा देवी महालक्ष्मी नमोस्तुते। लक्ष्मी करोतु कल्याणं आरोग्यं सुख संपदा मम शत्रुं विनाशाय रख लाज मेरे, आय शरण तेरे रख लाज मेरे, तू आज दिखा दे महिमा। हे महालक्ष्मी माँ, हे महालक्ष्मी माँ, हे महालक्ष्मी प्रेम से बोलो महालक्ष्मी माता की जय। Devotees of Bhagavan, this morning we've commenced on that very auspicious month of Shravan Mass, as we call it, a month that is dedicated to special worship to Bhagavan Shankar. And in this month, the days are most effective, are more special than just the month, are called Shravan Somvar, or every Monday. Devotees of Bhagavan Shankar, they do special puja and meditation to Bhagavan Shankar. So this morning, instead of doing a dhun, which we usually do, or some prayers to Bhagavan Shankar, I would like for us all to chant the Shiv Manas Stotra. And we know the Manas Stotra is mental worship to Bhagavan Shankar, because not every time, not every day, not every moment in the day we can have access to a lingam. When we pour different ingredients on the lingam. But what we can do anytime, every time and everywhere is through Manas Puja. The Manas Puja Stotra is familiar to most people. It's Ratnai Kalapitamasanam Himajalai. So I'd like to ask everyone to, right where you are, to focus the mind on Bhagavan Shankar. If possible, close your eyes. And let's do Manas. Manas Puja is puja done with the mind. When we're doing puja with the mind, then we want to imagine that we're pouring whatever we like to pour most in the lingam, whether this is Ganga Jal, whether it is cold milk, whether it is cane juice, whether dahi, whatever we like to pour most, ghee, on the lingam. Let us imagine in our mind that we're doing that. All the scriptures tell us unanimously that Manas Puja is the best form of worship. Why? Because only when the mind is applied to worship, that's when we get maximum benefits out of that worship. The senses, meaning the hands and feet and eyes and ears, are secondary to the mind. They're helpers to the mind. And so, let's close our eyes. Let's imagine Bhagavan Shankar or a lingam or both. Let's have our ingredients ready, whatever that is. The Shiv Manas Stotra takes 2 or 3 minutes to chant. If you don't know the words, then just do Manas Puja with probably Om Namah Shivaya in your mind. So focus the mind on Bhagavan Shankar. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Ratnaikalapitamāsanam himajalaye Snānam ca divyāmbaram Nānāratnavibhūshitam mrigamada Modam kitam chandanam Jati champaka bilvapattarachitam Pushpam ca dhūpam tatha Deepam devadayanidhi pashupate Hatkalpitam grihyatam Sauvarane navaratnikam patrigitam payasam Bhashyam panchamidam payodadiyutam rambapalam panakam Shākānāmayutam jalam ruchikaram Karpūrakandojvalam Tāmbulam manasāmaya vircitam Bhaktva prabho svikuro Chatram chamarayo yugam yajanakam Chadarshakam nirmalam Veena vena mridanga kahalakala Geetam ca nityam tatha Sashtamgam parnati sute bahuvidya Hotat samastang maya Sankalpena samarvitam tava vibho Puja grihana prabho Atma tvam girjamati sahachara Prana shariram griham Puja te vishayo prabho garachana Nidra samadhishtite Sancharaha padayoha pradakshana vidhi Stotrani sarvagiro Yadayata karma karomi tattadakhilam Shambho tavaradanam Karacharana krutam va kayajam karmajam va Sravananainajam va manasam va paradam Vihitam vihitam va sarvameta kshamasva Jai jai karunabdhe Sri Mahadeva Shambho. Iti Sri Manasa Srotra Srimad Shankaracharya Virchita Shiva Manasa Puja Samapta. Shankar Bhagavan ki jai. Sri Parvataye Pataye Namah. Har 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 Mahadev. Shiva Shankar Bhagavan ki jai. Again, like we usually do, we chant the divine name of the highest Shakti, the one who has the highest love. That love which can be shared and experienced by all of us. We take names of Bhagavan Sri Krishna and Radharani. She's Thakurani. You know Thakur? So Thakurani. She's Maharani. She's Radharani. Radharani, 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 Meri. Radharani, Radharani, Radharani. Meri Radharani, 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 Meri Radharani, Radharani, Radharani. Meri Radha Rani, Radha Rani, Radha Rani, Meri Radha Rani, Radha Rani, Radha Rani, Meri Radha Rani, Meri Radha Rani, oh Meri Radha Rani, Meri Radha Rani, Meri Radha Rani, Radha Raseshwari Radha Rani ki jai. Devotees of Bhagavan, firstly, again I'm grateful for all of you who have joined us this morning. I want to say a special welcome to my Mamu, Pandit Hari Prasad, and to Dad, a most revered individual and priest, Pandit Chandraman Hardwar. Also to my friend from Guyana, I see have joined us, Pandit Nishal Mizir. So Panditji, welcome again. And our dear friend, Dr. Brahm Hardwar, is also a priest in his own right when it comes to the philosophy of Sanatan Dharma. So Dr. Ji, thank you for joining us this morning. A couple of things, a couple of changes we want to bring to your attention. Not anything major, but you may have observed that we included a few more mandirs in our satsang. That's because the satsang has been coming your way by Radha Krishna Foundation, and there are a few people from all of these mandirs that I mentioned before who've been joining us, and so we're honored and very happy to include their mandirs, because by now, if you were to ask me when we started the satsang online, I thought that beginning of July we would not be doing this, but things will go back to some semblance of normalcy. Unfortunately, that's not the case in Florida and different states. Most states in the US, it is getting worse. And so here we are, continuing our satsang. We're happy to do so for those of you who want some sort of solace, some sort of prayerful surrounding, an atmosphere when it comes to Sunday morning. Those of you who've been going to Mandir regularly, and to anyone who's listening to us, we're happy to join you in satsang. These Mandirs have joined us not because they have asked us or we have asked them, or it's some sort of favor from us or from them, but because these mandirs are very close to us as individuals of the foundation. The Legwan Mandir, the Shiv Mandir of Legwan, Pandit Tulsi Ji and his Dharmapatni and the executive of the mandir, as you can see, they're building a new mandir. It's in construction now. But Pandit Tulsi and his family, they have been very close with us for a very long period of time, 7 or 8 years now. They've been teaching children in Legwan on the banner of the foundation, completely voluntarily. They have worked tirelessly for many, many years, every single weekend. They have changed the lives of many children in Legwan. And so Pandit Tulsi is also the priest in charge of that mandir, and so we're happy to involve his mandir in our satsang. The 72-71 Sanatan Mandir, again, is no stranger to us. That's my next village. But more importantly, the priest of that mandir, Pandit Amit Paresar, is not only a good friend of ours, but someone who has joined the foundation from the very beginning. He has grown in the foundation. He has learned. Today he's a very qualified, knowledgeable Pandit. He's a professional in every different aspect of living, in a secular way, etc. But Pandit Amit is the Chief Operations Officer of Radha Krishna Foundation now. But like I said, he's grown up in the foundation, so we're happy to involve Pandit Amit Ji with us. And also Radha Krishna Dham is a mandir. Radha Krishna Mandir, those of you who know me, which I think most of you do, I'm from number 73 village, and this mandir has been in our yard, essentially. We've grown up with this mandir right, an arm's length over. So we've not enlisted this mandir in our program Sunday morning, because in the village, not many people have internet and things like that. But since we were restructuring and we see that we will be doing the satsang for a little while, going into the future, we thought it best to involve the mandirs that are associated with us. I also want to let you know that there are a few more mandirs who have been asking us. We cannot accommodate everyone who are trying to get us to do separate satsang. The foundation is doing one of those now, but not able to do any more. But also a group of people that are closely associated with us, and some of them are related to us. I always mention my chacha here in this program. And so the mandir he goes to is Dharma Mandir of London. My children have been going on in their program because they're friends with the children. The children from Dharma Mandir have been coming on in our program, etc. My family, my chacha and his family, they go to that mandir. But the priest in charge is a dear chacha of mine, Pandit Vyas Sharma, and all his brothers, they're all pandits. And so they also are desirous of joining us in satsang. So from next week, well, actually our satsang today is also on their behalf or in support of their mandir. And this is all happening because of the ongoing lockdown. When the lockdown is over and all mandirs are open again, which is really the best thing, then life goes back to normalcy. Up until they're reopened, we're happy to represent these mandirs. Next week, we'll update the picture and put Dharma Mandir of London there. For those of you who've been listening to us, one other thing that we're updating is because of the fact that we're going into this into some sort of indefinite future, I don't know, hopefully not too long, we've been picking out topics to share with you, verses from the scriptures, things that we can learn from and implement in our lives and change our lives positively. But we want to do something that is more structured. Structured meaning something that can give you knowledge in a way that you can follow easily, from a scripture that gives you knowledge from all different levels, from a scripture that is non-sectarian, from a scripture that any person, a Hindu or not, can listen to these teachings, put them into their lives, and better their lives, regardless of what profession they're in. From a scripture that has something for the professional, meaning a person who works and has a business, from the perspective of a person who wants to attain God through his business, from a person who sees that knowledge is what we should pursue in life. There's enough information, advanced information for that person, and for a person who just wants to follow the path of bhakti to attain God's grace in this life. So the structure I'm talking about is to start reading from the Holy Bhagavad Gita. The Bhagavad Gita, the first 3 chapters, as we know, is known as Karma Yoga, the path of actions. The second, from chapter 7 to 12, is known as Bhakti Yoga, or the path of devotion. Also in this chapter, Bhagavan talks about his opulences. And the third one, Jnana Yoga, the path of knowledge, where Tattva Yoga is given, the highest knowledge of the self and of God. A few weeks ago on another platform, on another program, we gave a brief overview of the scriptures. Now I mentioned that we'll be reading from Bhagavad Gita. So Bhagavad Gita is one of the main scriptures that we have, or the more popular scripture. But in Sanatana Dharma we have many scriptures. And so this morning I will mention again briefly or give an overview of those scriptures, just so that we understand as Hindus, what are these many scriptures we have, what categories do they fall in, how do we understand them, and how can they bring benefit to our lives. So I'll do briefly, as most of us know, that we have the Ved, or the Vedas as we call them, the Vedic literature. Ved is written in Vedas, Nishrasitamasya Vedaha, that the Ved is untouched by the human intellect or the human hand. What does that mean? It means that it is revealed from the breath of God. And so the Ved, we know that as our overpowering, overruling scripture. On the Ved, we have the sutras, or the literature in the form of aphorisms, like we read last week from the Yoga Sutras of Maharishi Patanjali, small aphorisms or cryptic statements that are contained in the sutras. But these small statements, they have lots of ideas in capsule form or in nutshell statements that we can read. So the sutras are, the Ved is that which is, or sutras, that which is heard, and then under that we have the Smriti. Smriti is that which is remembered. After Smriti, we have the Puranas. This is a very, very brief overview. If you want to have something more detailed, you can let us know. But I've done this about 2-3 weeks ago, so I don't want to repeat all the information. So for the Puranas are a further extension or explanation of the Smritis, of the Shrutis, of the Vedas. So Puran means ancient, of course, very ancient. But even though it's very ancient, Navaha means it's ever fresh. Fresh meaning it's relevant and applicable to our lives today. And after that we have what is called Itihas. Itihas means history. Aha means something that definitely happened. Asaha, that which has occurred. So Itihas means something which has occurred, not something that we call an epic, because sometimes an epic, when we refer to epic, we're making a connotation that this did not necessarily happen. So the Ramayana and the Mahabharata, they fall into the category of itihas, not epic, but that which has happened. Now, this leaves us with Bhagavad Gita. Where does the Bhagavad Gita fall? Bhagavad Gita can be found in the scripture that we call itihas, the Mahabharata. It can be found in the Bhishma Padava, the 6th part. From chapter 25 onwards, you can find Bhagavad Gita in the Mahabharata, which you refer to as itihas. However, we have to make a conclusion as to whether the Bhagavad Gita is itihas or it is not. Now, as we know, firstly, the Bhagavad Gita came into being by Bhagavan Sri Krishna, who was reading it to Arjuna, who was explaining to Arjuna. But it was heard by Sanjay and also been explained to the king Dhritarashtra. Why? Because Vedvyas possessed the mystic power of what we call Divya Drishti. And so he happened to give Sanjay that power as well, that mystic ability, so that he can see something from a distance. And so Sanjay was able to see the war as well. And so there's guidance in Bhagavad Gita, like I said, for spiritualists. Sanjay has explained to Dhritarashtra. Spiritualists meaning God-seeking people or individuals. And then there are people who base their lives on actions. But still they would like to call themselves spiritualists or action-based spiritualists. And then there's knowledge-seeking spiritualists. Everything can be found in the Gita because the Gita is called Amba, mother. Remember the prayer? In Gita Dhyanam it says, Amba tam anusandadami bhagavata gite bhavadveshinim. Amba means mother. So whatever one seeks in life can be had from Bhagavad Gita. Gita is not necessarily confined to Sanatana Dharma or to Hinduism, because Gita gives a way of life, a way to live. It teaches us. It enhances whatever way of life we have now. Gita enhances that, brings more power, more presence, more success to whatever we're doing now. So in Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna helps Arjuna to understand. And this is one of the examples of Bhagavad Gita. When Arjuna was in a predicament, Sri Krishna helped him to understand, Arjuna, that you're way more powerful than what is going on with you in this moment. That these challenges are smaller than you. That all you have to do is start looking at the presence of the divinity within you and around you. Because Bhagavan was right there and Arjuna was looking for inspiration someplace else. He was giving up, he was confused. If we want any kind of knowledge, like we said, we're amongst all the scriptures, as we will explain. The Gita is like a pendant. If all the scriptures is a necklace, the pendant is what emphasizes, it brings out. It makes that necklace more present. And so the Gita is like a pendant in that necklace. It's like a special jewel. Gita sugita kartabhya kimanyvaisha savistrai he swayam padmanabhasya mukhapadmaduni srutaha. This is Gita Mahatam. A point to note is Gita Mahatam comes from the Padma Puran. And so this verse is saying that one need only very attentively and very regularly, one should read and listen to Bhagavad Gita, because what? It has all the Vedic, or the essence of the Vedic literature. Sashtra Vishtravaya. And especially because it has directly emanated from the lotus mouth of the Supreme Lord. It has not come from anywhere else. Sri Krishna himself has given Bhagavad Gita. Because any scripture, or all scriptures in Sanatana Dharma, have to be in conformity with the Ved. If they are not, then they are not considered an orthodox, treatise, an orthodox scripture in Sanatana Dharma. But the difference with Bhagavad Gita here, we have the Puranas, we have all the scriptures, we mentioned them before, and there is a whole lot more. But the Gita is accepted according to Swami Dayananda Saraswati, and I'm not quoting the Dayananda Saraswati who started the Arya Samaj religion. There's another Dayananda Saraswati, a rishi living today. So according to Dayananda Saraswati, the Gita is accepted among the scriptures as Praman Grantha. What does that mean? The same category that the Ved is in, the same category that is Smritis and Shrutis are, and these are called, Shruti Praman, Ved Praman, etc. That the Gita falls into the category of those scriptures and not necessarily Itihas, even though it is written in the Mahabharata, which is considered an Itihas. Why? Because of the Gita's affinity and its fidelity to Ved. For example, Imam Vishwate Yogam Proktavanaham Abhyayam. In Bhagavad Gita, chapter 4, verse 1, there are so many reasons why Bhagavad Gita is Praman. And like I said, even though it is written there, this is what Bhagavad Gita says. The meaning of this verse is that in the beginning of creation, Bhagavan is saying here that I gave this knowledge of Gita to the Son. Son meaning S-U-N. This is chapter 4, verse 1. And the Son, S-U-N, gave it to his Son, S-O-N. So the Son, which is Surya, gave it to his son, who is Manu. And Manu is the original progenitor of humankind. We know of Manu and Satrupa as the first people. And in turn, Manu gave it to his son, Ikshvaku. And as we know that Ishvaku was the first king of the Solar dynasty. Sri Krishna states here that in knowledge which he is revealing to Arjuna is eternal and was passed down through the descending process of knowledge from guru to disciple, for example. This is why Bhagavad Gita is called Bhagavat or Bhagavad Gita, the Song of God, because it was given by Bhagwan himself. So because of that, the Gita is not in the category of itihas. So we'll be explaining a few different Gitas that are available to us today. And we'll take one quote probably from each one of them for us to understand that the position that the Bhagavad Gita holds is a position that is powerful enough to teach everyone and anyone in any category or any position in life. Vrindavan Bihari Lal Ki Jai. So sorry about that. We had a little technical glitch here. I had to stop for that. So we were talking about the Gita, and we mentioned a few verses, and we mentioned that the Gita is Praman, and how powerful is the Gita and the things that it can offer to us, because Gita continues to astound people with its discerning and perennial wisdom. Wisdom that is there for any age, for anyone. Wisdom that remains, teaching that remains relevant to our daily lives. And the Gita was written or was given in book form by Sri Krishna more than 50 centuries ago. And then there's another point of consideration for the Bhagavad Gita being Praman, is that it does not contradict what the Ved says. That's why we talked about this before. If it contradicts what Ved says, then it cannot be Praman, it cannot be a scripture. Why? Because these are Bhagwan's words. When Sri Krishna talks in Bhagavad Gita, this is known as Bhagavad Vachan. Vachan means God's words, that Bhagwan is speaking. This again makes Gita Praman Grantha, that Sri Krishna speaks, but God speaks himself. And so because the Gita is Bhagavad Vachan, the word Bhagavan is used here, it becomes Praman and not Itihas, meaning what difference does it make if Bhagwan is saying this? Because it has the word Bhag. And there's a sixfold virtue that is supposed to be inherent in that word Bhag. This is explained in greater detail in Vishnu Puran. In Vishnu Puran, there's a beautiful verse that says, Aishwarasya samagrasya Viryasya yashah sriyah Jnana vairagya yogasyaiva Rinanam bhagaiti rina. There are a few words here that we can note, and one is Gyan. Gyan means knowledge. So these are 6 qualities of that which constitutes that entity or that word that is called Bhagavan. These have to be inherent for that word to become Bhagavan, for it to mean God. First is Gyan. It has to have these qualities in absolute measure, not limited in any way. So these are 6-fold absolute qualities of absolute measure. One is Gyan. So Bhagavan is all knowledgeable. Aishwarasya samagrasya Viryasya yashah sriya Jnana vairagya. And the next one is vairagya, total dispassion. Viryasya. Virya means a capacity to create, to sustain, and to destroy. Yashas, absolute fame. Shri, absolute wealth, wealth which is inexhaustible. And Aishwarya, one who has lordship over everything that happens in the world. That is what constitutes the word Bhagavan. And so because Bhagavan, a person who meets those prerequisites or qualifications, has enunciated the Bhagavad Gita to Arjun, this is why it is Gita Shastra. This is why it is Praman. Again it is said, Gita Shasamidam Punyam Yahapatet Prayatah Puman. The Gita continues. It is continuously being called Gita Shastra. It is called Gita, Bhagavad Gita, the song of God. So from these examples, we'd be able to put together that Bhagavan Sri Krishna has revealed the Bhagavad Gita to Arjun, and so because of that, it is Praman. So before we close this morning, we just want to mention a few different Gitas that are present with us that we can read and we can understand. Like we said before, Vishnu Padmavapnoti, Gita Shastramidam Punyam. Vishnu Padmavapnoti, that the Gita is called Gita Upanishad because it encapsulates all of the important aspects of knowledge in the Veda. This is why it is also called, there's a popular mantra in Padma Puran that is also in the Gita Mahatmya. It says, Sarvo Upanishado Gavo Dogda Gopalanandana Partho Vatsa Sudhira Bhokta Dugdam Gita Amritam Mahat. This verse explains the reason why Gita is called Gita Upanishad. Remember, it was Gita Shastra, now it is Gita Upanishad. Remember, this Praman, the Shastras, the Upanishads, the Upanishad falls in the category of Praman. So the verse explains that if all the Upanishads, Sarva Upanishado Gao were cows, if all the Upanishads were cows, Dogda Gopala Nandana, and the milker of the cow would be Bhagavan Sri Krishna himself, Gopala Nandana, the son of Gopal. Partho Vatsa Sudhira Bhokta. That Arjun, Partho Vatsaha, that is son of Pritha, Arjun, here is the calf that sucks the milk from the mother, the cow. Dugdam Gita Amritam Mahat. What will happen is that men of proper intellect would be the drinkers of the milk that comes out from this cow, which represents the Upanishads. The milk is the nectar of Bhagavad Gita. So Gita, Ganga, Cha Gayatri, Sita, Satya, Saraswati. It says here, Brahma Vidya, Brahma Valli, Iti Sandhya Mukti Gani. Brahma Vidya. The Gita gives what is called Brahma. Brahma Vidya means the science of God realization. To spiritual aspirants who are seeking to attain God or to have self-realization even, Gita is the book to follow. Gita is a scripture to follow. Because Bhagavad Gita is also one of the most popular and well-read books of wisdom in the history of humankind. And like we said before, its teachings are non-sectarian. This is why Gita is translated to into about 100 different languages. And Gita has influenced the lives of great men of the world. Not necessarily Hindus, but the lives of men like Thoreau, the American 19th century poet who said that in the morning I bathed my intellect in the stupendous philosophy of Bhagavad Gita. There are other Westerners. Huxley, a 20th century philosopher, says that the Bhagavad Gita is the most systematic statement of spiritual evolution, of endowing value to mankind. And the one that we know most from Mahatma Gandhi, that when disappointment stares me in the face and I see not one ray of light, I turn to the Gita and I find a verse here and I find a verse there to comfort me. And immediately I begin to smile in the midst of overwhelming sorrow. Gandhi has mentioned, we talked about Gita being Amba, being mother. Gandhi has also used the statement that I've lost my mother a long time ago, but when I turn to the Bhagavad Gita, I get all that my mother could have given me and more. And so because of Gita, I haven't missed my mother. So we said that we'll mention a few more Gitas. Another popular one is called Udho Gita. Udho Gita is what? This is a part of the Bhagavad Mahapuran. In the 11th canto, in the 16th chapter, right around verse 40, the Udho Gita starts. It's a very popular, like I said, when Bhagavan speaks, Bhagavan Ovacha, and that becomes divine. That becomes Gita. And so here, Bhagavan speaks with Udho. In Kurukshetra, he was speaking with Arjun. So whenever Bhagavan speaks, it's referred to as Gita. So Udho was confused when he saw, the Yadavs leaving, the family and all, everyone who belonged to Sri Krishna leaving. And so he approached Bhagavan Sri Krishna and he started having a conversation with him. He approached Sri Krishna at a private place. Now, it is written in Bhagavad Mahapuran how much Bhagavan Sri Krishna himself talked about the knowledge of Udho. But even with all that knowledge, Udho could not have understood what was happening. And so he approached Sri Krishna, and this part, about 1,000 verses from the verse I mentioned, this is what constitutes what is called Udho Gita. A thing to note from Udho Gita is when at the end of the conversation, Bhagavan Sri Krishna himself says that Udho has the same level of knowledge with me. What he didn't have was bhakti. And Sri Krishna sent him in the end of that conversation to the gopis. What happened there is that Udho got a very practical lesson in what bhakti is, because he didn't believe in bhakti before. He was proud of his knowledge. So Udho decided to follow the words of the advice of Sri Krishna, and he went to the gopis. He took about 2-3 hours to go where the gopis were. And when he was finished, when he was blessed with divine ecstasy from the lives of the gopis without them lecturing to him, Udho was returning to Sri Krishna, but it took about 6 months to return. Why? Because he was lost in ecstasy. He did not let his pride of theoretical knowledge deter him from allowing him to go to talk to the gopis who have never gone to school. Uddhava was a jnani. He went, he took the advice of Sri Krishna, he went there, he started practicing bhakti and experiencing the highest levels of bhakti before the end of the conversation between him and the gopis. There's another Gita that is called the Ram Gita. Why is it called Ram Gita? This is a part of Uttarkand of Ramcharitamanas. Uttarkand, as we know, is the 7th chapter. Right around Doha 42 or so, if you check Ramayana, Ramcharitamanas, you will find there, Ek baar raghunata bulaye, Guru Dvij purvasi sab aaye. That Bhagavan Sri Ram was speaking to the residents of Ayodhya for the first time, for the only time in 11,000 years. And there's some beautiful chaupais that are recorded in Ramcharitamanas of that lecture that Bhagavan Sri Ram gave to the residents of Ayodhya. Now we would not sing all of them, but one chaupai that is very popular is Ehi tan kar pal vishayan bhai Swargahu swalpa ant dukhdai. Bhagavan Sri Ram advised the residents of Ayodhya, do not perform your actions with heaven as the result. Perform your actions with bhakti in your mind and you'll attain my abode. Because if you go to heaven, and this is written in all the scriptures, from Ved to Ramayana to Bhagavad Gita, if you do actions and claim the results of those actions, you'll go to heaven temporarily. But what happens there? Swargahu swalpa ant dukhdai. That when the merits of your actions are depleted, then you will return to Bhulok to suffer in 8,400,000 species. There's also a very beautiful doha that is written there in Uddhava Gita, in Ram Gita. This is how it goes. दुख पावही सो परत्र दुख पावही सिर धुन धुने पछताए ओ रामा सिर धुन धुने पछताए काल ही कर्म है ईश्वर ही काल ही कर्म है ईश्वर ही मिथ्या दोष लगाए सियावर रामचंद्र जी की जय शरणम सो परत्र दुख पावही सिर धुन धुनी पछताए. That there comes a time when we start beating our heads. This is mentioned here in Ram Gita, in Ramcharitamanas. We beat our heads, why? Because things are not going well. Things are going haywire. We have control over nothing. And all of a sudden, in the midst of this confusion and chaos, we say, Kalahi karmahi ishwarahi. Sri Ram is saying that we blame time. Kalahi. Karmahi. That we blame destiny. And we also go to the extent where Ishwarahi, that we also blame God. What we never do as human beings is look inside and see if we should blame ourselves first for what we have caused upon ourselves. More times than not, That is the problem. What we do, kalahi, karmahi, ishwarahi. So that's a part of Ramayana that is called Ram Gita. So that's another Gita. And there's yet another Gita that is right within the pages of Sri Ramcharitamanas, and it's called Lakshman Gita. Why Lakshman Gita? I just mentioned a few minutes ago that it is only called a Gita if Bhagavan has narrated or Bhagavan has written this. Bhagavan has given these verses. So if you look carefully or if you remember, in Balkand of Ramcharitamanas, in the Janma Katha, you will find this verse that says, Tinke grihavatarahi jai Raghukula tilake socharahi bhai. Raghukula tilak socharahu bhai. That when there was an Akashvani, when there is a voice, when there was the results of the Putra Kameshti Yagna, Bhagavan says that I'll be coming in the house of Dashrath as Charyu Bhai, in the form of 4 brothers. He didn't say I'll come as Ram and I'll bring some friends, or I'll bring a few more chaps with me. He said I will come as 4. What does that mean? It means that Lakshman is in the category of Bhagavan also. Most of us know that Lakshman is Sheshnag. Even when he came as Sri Krishna, as Balram, this was Sheshnag. So when Lakshman speaks, that is also considered Gita. And in Balkan, Lakshmana spoke in Ayodhya Kand, there's a very popular and a very much liked katha that is called the Kevat Katha, the Nishad Raj Katha. It's about 10 chaupais or so in Dohas. When the Kevat, when Bhagavan Sri Ram was exiled and the Kevat is looking at Sri Ram, when they got to a place called Sringaverpur. Sringaverpur is not very far from what we know as Allahabad. That name now has been changed to Prayagraj. So about a half an hour or so from Prayagraj, from Allahabad, you can find this place that is called Sringaverpur, which still has the Ram Chura, where Bhagavan Sri Ram stepped into the Ganga. And we know that katha well. When the Kevat was looking, when he met Bhagavan Sri Ram and Lakshman, and he was looking, these were his words to Lakshman. And his words were, Bhai din kar kulabitap kutare kumati kin sab vishwa dukhare bayahu bishadu nishadahi bhari ram siyamahi sayanana nihari. Nishad, we know as the Guha. These were his words according to the Chaupai. That in Nishad said, the boatman said that Kaikeyi, Dasharath's queen, became the axe for the tree-like lineage of the Sun dynasty. That our bad thoughts cause unhappiness for the whole world by sending Bhagavan Sri Ram, Lakshman and Mata Sita to the forest. So Nishad became very, very sorrowful on watching Sri Ram and Mata Sita asleep on the ground. He's saying that these are princes and a princess, because Mata Sita is from Videha, from Mithila, from Janakpur, the daughter of a king. And they're accustomed to palaces and thousands of elephants and servants and crystal chandeliers and golden thrones, etc. And here they are sleeping on the ground. So the Nishad was confused. So this is what makes it This is what makes it Lakshman Gita, because Lakshman, seeing the sorrow in the heart of Nishad, of the boatman, he decided to address him. Here were his words. So in Lakshman Gita now, Lakshman is explaining to Nishad Raj what really is happening. And he's saying that, look, we may complain about what we think, or as human beings, we may complain about different things. The actual translation to Kahuna Koya Sukha Dukha Karadata Nija Krita Karma Bhog Bahubrata means that we should never, as human beings, attribute our joys to another person. But we know that. Whenever we create something good in our lives, something special, something that is good for us, whether through our thoughts we have come up with a selfless something to do in terms of helping humanity. If we get a promotion in our job, if we've been able to save some lives in some disaster, if we've created something that looks like nothing else, if we speak like others who cannot speak, whatever good we do in our lives, we take credit for ourselves. We don't say God is great. We say that we have worked very hard, and that is why, as a result of our work, that is why we've accomplished these things. So kahuna koi sukha dukha karada. However, when rough times meet us, kalahi karmahi ishwarahi. Remember in the beginning, we blame time, destiny, or God. So Lakshman is replying here in Lakshman Gita, kahuna koi sukha dukha karadata nija krita karma. Do not attribute, when bad things happen to someone, do not attribute it to others either. They have not caused it. Why? Nija krita karma bhoga bahubrata. That it is because of our own actions that we're experiencing these different vicissitudes of life today. Because very quickly we may blame the government, something is happening now, people are unsatisfied with what the government is doing, whether it's this country or any other country, and we'll complain about that. That something is wrong with that. We may complain about, the place that, for example, this pandemic has started. What did the people do wrong over there that it has come to us? From whom did it come? From where did it come? But at the end of the day, one thing we know is that we have to deal with it. So the wisest choice is to put our best foot forward. Because at the end of the day, nobody will or even can do anything for us. Unfortunately, if we get sick, we go into the hospital, we have some people helping us there. But until then, no one can do. We have to take our own precautions. If we start blaming people, that will not help us in any way. Because philosophically, situations cannot cut you down. If you're poised in knowledge, if you're poised in optimism, and if you're poised in faith in God, then regardless of what those situations are, you'll still be the same person. You have fortitude. We meet challenges in life every day, but we have to realize that challenges, more times than not, or almost every time, can be opportunities. And opportunities for us to grow and uncover the latent potentialities within us. We talked about the axe in the Chaupai when Nishad Raj said that Kaikeyi is like the axe to cut down the respect of the Raghukul. But if that same axe goes to cut down the sandal tree, what happens? The sandal tree doesn't want to be cut down, but it is being cut down, so what does it do? It can't do anything. So it makes a decision that today I'm being cut down, so what I will do from this point onwards, that now I'll have the opportunity to be mobile. My sweet smell would now not only be restricted to this where I'm standing, but it will be mobile. And now I can give good smell to millions of people all over the world. The tree cannot fight back, so it says that the opportunity I see from this difficulty that I'm experiencing is that I will be able to bring physical rest to people. Maybe someone will take me and make a bench or a chair, and people will be able to rest their aching backs and feet sitting on me. Not only that, but when I'm made into a paste and touched on the forehead of someone, I'll bring a cooling feeling to the lives of people who apply me to their forehead. But even greater than that, or best yet, I will have the opportunity to be carved into an image that represents Bhagavan. That someone may take me and make a murti out of me, a sandalwood murti. And because I'll be made into a murti, then I'll be revered by millions of people as a representation of God. So I'll use this difficulty, this tragedy that has come my way, into an opportunity, and these are all the things I'll do for humanity because of the difficulty that I'm now facing. So today I'm grateful for this bad experience of being cut down. I'm so fortunate. And so that's why I'm grateful. So Bhagavan Sri Ram, while he was in exile, he performed his duties, but when he came back, and also before going, he expressed his gratitude to Kaikeyi for sending him to the forest for 14 years when he was supposed to be crowned king. But Sri Ram had a different spin, and he said to Kaikeyi that thank you for this opportunity to take the burden off of the shoulder of my father. That this is this duty of a son. And today I relish this opportunity to perform this deed for my father. So in the end, this disaster that Bhagavan Sri Ram went through for 14 years actually brought peace to the world by killing Ravan and by destroying evil. Dashrath was unwilling to send Bhagavan Sri Ram in the beginning. But Dashrath has died when Bhagavan Sri Ram was in exile, we know that. And he was crying and lamenting for Sri Ram because he was thinking from the emotions and not from his intellect and from the big picture. And so when Bhagavan Sri Ram came back, Dashrath was now in Indralok. He had died and living in the heavenly regions. Even then, because he was living there, he had the power to come back and to visit his son and Mata Sita and Lakshman. Dashrath came back to Ayodhya from Indralok, And he was speaking to Bhagavan Sri Ram. He said to Bhagavan Sri Ram that today I'm so proud of you that you have been so successful at such a Herculean task, but yet the sacred one you faced it head on. And Dashrath congratulated Bhagavan Sri Ram for facing such a tragedy with such a cool head, with the best interests of others. And so as a result of that, he brought new life to the entire world. Dashrath said to Sri Ram in the beginning, when he came, in the end, when he was leaving to go back to Indalok, he said, Taritoham toya putra subetrena mahatmana ashtavakrena dharmatma tarito brahmano yata. This is actually Valmiki Ramayana, when this is the Yud Khan, to be exact, the 119th chapter, the 17th verse. Dashrath is saying to Bhagavan Sri Ram that it is because of you that I've been conveyed across this difficult world. I've been sent across this difficult world, and now I live in Indalok. And so that makes you a very worthy son. If you listen to the words, it said, Ashtavakrena dharmatma. Dashrath said to Bhagavan Sri Ram that even as Kahora, a Brahman was redeemed by Ashtavakra. Now this is another katha that we cannot read now, but Ashtavakra is another Gita, Ashtavakra Gita. And so it is a legitimate Gita because it is mentioned in one part of a Mahabharata, it is mentioned in Valmiki Ramayana by Dashrath, it is mentioned by all the great saints. It was mentioned by Ramakrishna and Swami Vivekananda, etc. And then there's also another Gita that is called Guru Gita. It's also written by Vedvyas. So in conclusion, all the qualities that are there in Bhagavad Gita that we talked about before, if we take this verse from the Gita Mahatam, most of us know it, so let's chant it. Maranilamar Malaniramo Chanam Punsam Jalashnanam Dine Dine Sakrita Gitam Vasi Snanam Sansaramalanashanam. Gita Mahatam says, Malaniramochanam punsam, Jal Snanam dine dine. In the same way that we Jal Snanam, day after day, we take a bath to ensure that the body is clean. Why? Because Malaniramochanam, the mud that is on our body. Sakrita Gitam Bhasi Snanam, that if we take the teachings and the milk of Bhagavad Gita and we apply it, not just read it, not just understand it, not just being able to recite the Gita verses, but Sakrita Gitam Bhasi Snanam. To apply the Gita's teachings to our daily lives, Sansara Malanashanam. We will be able to wash away the impurities of the world from us, and we'll be able to live a very peaceful and a happy life. So this is the little message that we would like to bring to you this morning, that the Gita is Sarvo Upanishado Gao, that is Gita Upanishad, that is Gita Shastra, that it has something for everyone, and that if we take the message of the Bhagavad Gita as our nectar, we apply it to our daily lives, then we will be able to every day, we will be able to wash away the impurities from our lives and lead a life of peace, of contentment, of happiness, a life of knowing God. So before we go into our meditation today, I would just like to conclude with a little bhajan that we've prepared. Most of you know that we're in the season of Shravan Mass, where we do puja and special adoration to Bhagavan Shankar. So we'll do a small bhajan to Bhagavan Shankar, but I want to leave you with a little story. The story is titled Turning the Fearful into the Useful. Why? Because of the situation, the pandemic and the difficulties we're going through in life. Things are happening to so many families and they don't know what to do. And so this story is about Moses, who heard a voice in the bush. In the bush next to him, there was a hissing sound. Moses listened to this sound and looked beside him, and he saw a snake next to him. Of course, he got very frightened out of, can you imagine seeing a hissing snake, like a rattle, whatever they call them, snake next to you, that's very venomous. So he was scared out of his wits. Moses started trembling. His chest was throbbing, and Moses, he was undone. Just imagine the feeling of seeing a snake next to you that is about to pounce on you. But before that happened, a voice came out from just left of him. A voice said, "Fear not, my dear child, catch the snake." So Moses is hearing this voice, catch the snake, hold it, and hold it fast. Moses is not listening. The voice came once, it came twice, and then the voice started moving away. But it said to him again, catch a snake, grab it, hold it, and follow me. So he realizes this is something that can help him, and the voice is leaving, and so the voice is saying, Moses, come forth. And so he decided to catch it. So Moses, he caught hold of it. Lo and behold, when he caught hold of it, it was a beautiful staff. You know a staff? Staff that's made out of wood. So here the snake, the serp, stands for the truth. And according to Hindu philosophy, the truth or final reality is represented by the snake. The snake calls up itself. If you look at a snake that's sitting restfully, it calls up itself in a spiral form, making circles within circles, if you look at it carefully. And the snake will even put its tail back into its mouth. So the two extremes will meet. Similarly, for those of us who live in this world, we have circles within circles. Some of us experience on a daily basis. Everything seems to repeat itself, especially if it's something that is unpleasant. But there's a universal law or a principle which runs through the whole world. And that is that if we look at this snake, the way it wraps up and the extremes meet, we will find out that that happens to so many people on an everyday basis. For example, we're going through the pandemic right now, and then a few days ago, I think there was an earthquake in Mexico, 7.6 something, and killed about 10 people. In a pandemic, when people are trying to save themselves, but outside the people that died because of the earthquake, people got injured. Now, one problem is the pandemic, A second one is that you're now injured. A third one, another circle within the circle of injury, is that you have lost your house. And then there can even be a smaller circle within those circles. You got injured, you got so scared that you'll die, and you got a heart attack. So all kinds of things are happening to a circle within a circle within a circle. So to catch hold of the snake means to put yourself very boldly into the position, according to the story, into the position of the wielder of divine law, or the ruler of the universe. Put yourself boldly in that position and realize your oneness with divinity. If you do so, then the moral of the story is that the world is a very dreadful dragon to anyone who fears it, like Moses feared the snake. But the world serves him very faithfully who faces it boldly. And what do I mean by boldly? With knowledge of the self. If you know who you are, if we know who we are, who really we are, which is something Bhagavad Gita can help us to understand, or will tell us who we are, help us to understand it more deeply, then the circles within the circles within the circles would not bother us. We will see above it all, because we'll be looking at life from a big picture standpoint. And so the circles would not bother us, even though the pandemic will not bother us, even though it is not us who experienced the earthquake and the injury and the loss of our property. Sometimes we live in the same mental position of those people. We live fearfully every day. So if we take this story very seriously and we listen and learn from Bhagavad Gita, it would help us not only to handle those situations in life, but also to bring us closer and closer to Bhagavan, while we're being successful at everything we do. This is our message to you this morning. We hope and pray that you stay safe. And I want to again thank all the Pandits who have come on board with us. Pandit Tulsi of Legwan, Pandit Amit Paresar of 72 Village, and all the other Pandit Nishalji, all the other Pandits who joined us this morning. Thank you. We'll close with a small bhajan, and then we shall go into our meditation. Like you said, it's the season of puja to Shivji. So let's group our voices together. Bhagavan is called Jagat Bhandar. For those people who are his devotees, he gives everything to them. Everything to become happy. Jai Bola Bandari Shiva Shiva Har. Jai Bola Bandari, Jai Bola Bandari Shiva Har. Jai Bola Bandari, Jai Kailashpati Shiva Shankar. Jai Kailashpati Shiva Shankar. Sab jag ke हितकारी जय बोला बंदारी शिव हर जय बोला बंदारी तीनों नमामि शंकर नमामि शंकर तेरा नाम जपे में जग में मिलता मुक्ति द्वारा महादेव पर ब्रह्म विधाता महादेव पर ब्रह्म विधाता आए शरण तिहारी जय बोला बंधारी शिव हरे जय बोला बंधारी जय बोला बंधारी शिव हरे जय बोला बंधारी जय बोला बंधारी शिव हरे जय बोला बंधारी शिव शंकर भगवान की जय. So now we'll do a small meditation. So please try to sit with your spine erect. Try to close your eyes. If we can sit with our feet touching the ground, if we can put our palms on our thighs, maybe upside down, in a relaxing position. Let's take a deep breath in. So breathe in. Exhale. A deep breath in. Exhale. Let's take a deep breath in and try to hold the breath there for a second or two. When we exhale, let's try to relax the most we can. Exhale. Find a very peaceful place in the season of Shravan Maas. A very peaceful place would be where Bhagavan Shankar finds his peace, which is at the top of the Kailash Parvat. So let's imagine that we're sitting at the very summit of the Kailash Parvat, where Bhagavan Shankar resides. As he sits on his beautiful golden throne, we are allowed to come sit very close opposite Bhagavan in our very comfortable seat that he has arranged for us. Imagine that you're sitting next to your favorite form of God, Sri Krishna, Radha Rani, Bhagavan Shankar, etc. Last week we based our meditation on the valley, and we said that as long as you stay grounded, it is those people who would reach their highest achievements. Today we imagine that we're sitting at the top of the mountain. Why? Because we are grounded and we meditate on God. So we're humble, we're simple, and we will be successful at all our future undertakings. And Bhagavan sits very beautifully opposite you, and he's speaking with you. You're having this beautiful conversation. He says to you that always in life, try to get an overview of the purpose of your life. That if you're in a forest and you look around you, you might be scared of all the insects and animals and how dense the forest is. But if you climb the tallest tree in the forest, then all you will see is a green canopy. The green canopy is your perspective of life, is what you get to see when you operate beyond that which is average. The average person sees the forest and gets scared and confused. If we look at the forest from the top of a tree, we see the world as a green, brilliant canopy. Bhagavan says to you, that is the big picture. While living in the world, we also can be not of the world and enjoy peace, regardless of what happens around you. That if you're in a cruise ship in the middle of the Pacific, your world would be that of water, a wide expanse of water. That's your perspective. That's what you're looking at. You've forgotten from where you've come and everything that goes on at home, and you're therapeutically looking at the water because that is your world. Outside of the chaos in that very cruise ship, chaos meaning the busyness and the revelry and the noise, you can enjoy peace by looking at another world or at the world from a different perspective. Bhagavan says that if you're in an airplane and you're flying above the clouds, all you can see is a beautiful, very inviting, peaceful layer, a sheet of clouds, all the way to the horizon. And your world is as white and pure, and calm, and soft and peaceful as the clouds you're now seeing. Because this is what your life is now, and this is how you look at life. Or you can just turn your gaze inside the airplane and go back to normalcy. Because if you're a part of those individuals who live and nurture chaos, that is what you will attract in your life. Bhagavan Shankar is the embodiment of peace, the embodiment of happiness, and the giver of peace. So he says to you, see the world as a creation of God, and ignore what is happening around you outside of that which you need to be involved in to survive. But while being involved in those things and those activities, you can still. The plane will still carry you. The ship will still carry you. You can focus on that which is peaceful. Bhagavan says always have a mountain-top perspective in life. Why? Because this is where you get an overview. This is where you get a big picture. This is where you get a proper perspective. This is where you get a clear picture of life. The example is that you're watching. You're watching a basketball game, and you're sitting high in the stands, and you have a bird's eye view of the game in process, and you're watching your favorite player as he dribbles and he runs towards the hoop, And you watch him as a set of other players from the opposing team would circle him. And you watch him struggle to get past that outer circle. And because of a bird's eye view, you're seeing the man on the sideline. And that's his only clear shot. You're seeing it very clearly. The player's too involved and too engrossed in the struggle of getting past the people around him to score 2 points, ignoring the person on the sideline that he can easily pass it to score 3. You're looking at him and you're not very impressed of his abilities. The problem is, Bhagavan is saying to you that he could not have seen that person because of the current struggle. You could have seen why? Because you have a mountaintop perspective. Because you rise above the struggles and the vicissitudes of life, and the sadness and happiness, and the loss and gain, and the health and sickness, etc., etc. You've risen above all of that, and you're looking at life from a mountain's perspective, a mountaintop perspective. The basketball player wasn't wrong because he thought that's the best thing he could have done. He couldn't see past that because he's not straightening up and looking above the other people to see where the clear shot is. Shankar Bhagavan is saying, I am always here on Mount Kailash, that if you come to me mentally, then you'll always be able to see life from a mountaintop perspective. You'll enjoy peace. And in addition, in combination with your own perspective, I'll bless you. And in this auspicious month, he's saying, Bhagavan is saying, always come to me. Come to me a few times every day in your mind. And I'll always be there with you to offer proper perspective. Sit very peacefully with Bhagavan. Look at his form. Look how peaceful he is. Look around you from the mountain top on one side. You can see people who are very, very happy. They have huge mansions. On the other side, you see people who are ordinary, average people living their everyday lives. On the other side, you see tremendous suffering of people who suffer for absolutely no fault of theirs in this life. On another side, you see people who are only blaming the people on the other 3 sides for anything that doesn't go well for them. But as you take a mountaintop's view, you can only watch and smile. As you're in a spaceship, you'll see the earth as a quarter. And you'll go like, why are people living there in chaos and not peace? It's just a small place. Because they cannot see it from the proper perspective. So Bhagavan says, ignore all the things that are happening around you. Focus on me, and your life will be peaceful. Hari Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shall we join in closing prayers? बार बार वर मांग हो हर्ष देह श्रीरंग पर सरोजयन पावनी भक्ति सदा सत्संग सिया पति रामचंद्र की जय शरणम प्रभु उमापति महादेव की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय सियावर रामचंद्र की जय शरणम प्रभु सब संतन की जय जय सीताराम जय जय श्री राधे जय जय श्री राधे जय जय श्री राधे रासेश्वरी राधा रानी की जय. I had said thank you to all the pundits. I think my Mamu had not been there, so Mamu, again, welcome and thank you. We appreciate you coming on. My mom was a Pandit Hari Prasad, and to Dad, Pandit Chandavan. I see my brother Pandit Dinesh Dubey has joined us, and to all of you whom I haven't mentioned, thank you for coming on, and we'll do this again next Sunday. Remember that from next Sunday we start discussing verse after verse from the path of bhakti. From the path of bhakti, Bhakti Marga Bhagavad Gita. We'll also be joining, together with the mandirs that we have with us now, we'll be joining with Dharma Mandir of London as a part of our satsang as well. I think also my dad is watching, my chacha from England. So Dad, I'm not so sure. Somebody told me you're watching, but I think if I know you well, I think you're sleeping in the chair right now. So probably wake up if you want to hear this. But Dad, thank you for coming on. God bless all of you. Until I see you again, may Bhagavan keep you safe. Vrindavan Bihari Lal Ki Jai.
This live satsang is presented by Radha Krishna Foundation in light of the ongoing lockdown and in support of Sri Lakshmi Mandir of West Palm Beach, Florida. Radha Krishna Dham of number 73 Village, Guyana. Number 7271 Sanatan Mandir of number 72 Village, Guyana. Shiva Mandir Ashram of Legwan Island, Guyana.